8bitx.com.
This is my first one. I started about a year ago, July 20th of last year, and I just sort of talked to a couple people, got a few tracks claimed right off the bat, and opened it up to the public, got a lot of really awesome people on board, and it just sort of, it all came together. Everything's turned out really great. A lot of it's just sort of, you're just kind of waiting on people. I didn't honestly have to do a whole lot of work, besides just keeping on top of it, making sure, songs are coming in, everything's getting done, which, it all went pretty much according to plan. But I don't know, it just kind of all just came together.
That's great, man. That's fantastic, because you know what? There have been so many other albums, you know what I mean? And
right.
Finally to get like a Sonic one put together, how does that, you as a Sonic fan, how does it make you feel to be kind of in charge of this whole Sonic movement here?
Well, I don't know. I was a little lucky. I know there was, talks of, other people that wanted to do this same project, and I always really loved the, OCR's Sonic 3 project, Project Chaos, and some of the other projects too. But I was just lucky. I happened to start something up, and it turned out really big.
Now, this is based on any Sonic game in particular, or is it based on an area? Go ahead.
It covers just the first Sonic one for Sega Genesis. Pretty much almost every song in the game is accounted for. Even a lot of the the drowning jingle is in there. The Act Clear themes. Pretty much everything's accounted for. But there'll be 12 songs with each song is based on a different zone theme, and then we have two different remixes of the special stage theme.
Okay. Now, I'm always curious, because I was reading the forums and whatnot, but I always got to think, like, behind the scenes, someone's got to be like, yo, here's $20. I need Marble Zone, man. Like...
there's a lot of people that are just, just willing to do anything to get their name out there, especially on something like this. I had a lot of people that I couldn't even, I wasn't even able to take on the project because we had a limited number of spots. It's just crazy. There's a lot of people out there that are just willing to put whatever they got out there. And
so it's kind of like the newer people who want to establish themselves. It's like, okay, you get the death jingle. Do what you can.
Well, a lot of those, the little stuff, it just sort of all slipped in there. We didn't necessarily, there's not a whole remix based around, the drowning theme or, some of the jingles, but, some of our creative artists just, managed to throw these things into the remixes, make it fit, and, yeah.
So we do a thing on this show when we have a guest on about gaming lineage. So to get an idea of where you've been, what your view of the gaming realm is, take us through like your first system all the way up to the current day. What you have in your household.
Well, I got a Sega Genesis for my 5th Christmas. And that came with Sonic 2, and Sonic 1 wasn't really my first game. I did eventually, pick that up, and as a kid, I thought it was a little harder. I couldn't really get as into that. But Sega Genesis, eventually, a couple years later down the line, I got a Super Nintendo. And pretty much ever since then, it's been pretty Nintendo heavy, did all the Zeldas, the Marios, and yeah, I got into, I had a PlayStation, PS2, played Final Fantasies, pretty much a lot of mainstream games. I probably played it, but anymore, I have an Xbox 360, but I don't really play it too often. I'm much more musically centered person, so I don't play a whole lot of video games anymore. But it's not like Overclock Remix and such, so pretty big part of my daily life. I guess it kind of, took that place.
Yeah, because now you're doing more things revolving around video games than actually playing them, and I can obviously relate to that because you're on the show. Right. But so we had a question from one of our audience members who couldn't be here tonight. As a Sonic fan, he wants to know your opinion, or anyone else who's on the album's opinion, of the 2D Sonics that are coming out, and just the Sonic 3D games and that kind of thing.
Well, I was a pretty hardcore Sonic fan for a while. I mean, up through, I had a Dreamcast for a bit. I played Sonic Adventure 1 and 2. I enjoyed both of those. Even, some of the parts that people say are crap, the emerald collecting. I still managed to get through the games, and I thought they were pretty fun. Anything beyond those, I haven't really played. I've looked into a few videos and stuff about, concerning Sonic 4, and I'm not too excited about it, to be honest.
Now, okay, let's get into it, right? Because a lot of people are nitpicking the Sonic 4, so why didn't it resonate with you, who is like a 2D Sonic fan?
It's just, also these are just, I'm not against giving the game a try or whatever when it comes out, but it's just, doesn't look so appealing. I don't like I don't really like the art style. They've released a little bit of the music, and it's all right. It's it's just I don't really know what to expect. I don't think it's gonna stand up to older ones.
Is it because Sonic has a 3D look to him?
That may have something to do with it. Yeah.
Would you? Are Sonic fans snobs? Are they?
I mean, yeah, so a lot of them are. I don't know if I would, put myself in as a, hardcore Sonic fan anymore. I still enjoy I still enjoy the original games. Like I said, a lot of Sonic 2006, and the ones on the Wii, I really haven't played any of them at all. It's just, I don't know. Seems like it's past its time.
So we have a bunch of people in the chat room, like Will Rock goes on to say it's like a weird combination of 2D, 3D. The music doesn't fit. It's just, so it's the details, right? The details don't hit home.
Right. I mean, if they put it out and it ends up being really fun to play, that's what really matters. But I mean, just based on what you see, what you hear about it, it's just, not too exciting for me.
We're here with Hal C, not Halc, not the Hulk, and he did not get beat up by Larry OG. That's not the reason your mouth hurts.
Correct.
Squash those rumors right now, which I started. So so we're talking about the Sound of Speed album coming out, OC Remix. I'm going to put the proverbial gun to the head. What's the best track on the album?
My personal favorite is Thonic's Bubble Junkie. It's a remix of the Labyrinth Zone theme. Personally, that's my favorite song from the original soundtrack, which I originally was remixing myself for the album, but eventually he's a good friend of mine in real life, and he had sort of been on a remixing hiatus for quite a while, and that was sort of like his his first solo mix in quite a while, and I took mine off, let him have the spot, and he came up with something really, really good.
Now, when you decided to do that, were you like, look, dude, this is OC Remix we're talking about. You know, this is, I mean, Street Fighter 2 HD Remix. If I'm going to put you on this album, you know, I better be like name of your firstborn or something. Is he?
Oh, he was an established OC Remixer long before I was. So, you know, but I've always, you know, like I said, good friends, so there might be a bias, but I've always been a big fan of his music. You know, I feel like I took a lot of influence, you know, from his stuff. So, I mean, it was an honor just to, you know, I was happy to throw my track out the window and put his on the album.
So, if you were to summarize this album in a few words, what would you say to someone who's like, just give me the album in a nutshell?
It's epic. It's awesome. And I want to say you know, I want to say it's cohesive. It works as an album. I think people that love Sonic 1 are gonna love it. I think, you know, people that like good music are gonna like it too.
So you talked about influence there. What is your biggest influence when creating music and remixes?
A lot of other, you know, there's a lot of other OC remixers that I draw my influence from, as well as a lot of chiptune artists. I listen to there's a lot of, you know, sort of varieties of chiptune and such that, you know, obviously sort of influences my style if you're familiar with any of my music. But, yeah, I could throw out some of my favorite remixers. Another Soundscape, Arrows.
Yep.
Arrows, I like Blind, DJ Pretzel.
Is that, now do you have to say DJ Pretzel?
No.
I'm just kidding.
I don't have to, but you know, he really does have he's got a, you know, a pretty substantial body of work, but there's some really awesome songs in there. It's Gamebox. He's another one we got on the project. I was a huge fan of his work on Project Chaos, so I was really glad we could get him on. Relic, one of my old favorite OC remixers, hasn't done anything recent in a while, but he's got some awesome stuff from a few years back. Now,
did I read correctly that you are very proficient at Sonic the original?
Yeah, fairly.
Now, I believe, if you've ever listened to the show, I am not a huge Sonic fan. I respect Sonic, but it's one of those, like, respect things that I'm a Mario guy, so Sonic pissed me off, right? So, but at the same time, you respect Sonic and everything he's done. But and I've read on the OC remix that you beat the game in the Labyrinth Zone. Now, explain this.
I think the specific poster, there's a boss, the boss of Labyrinth Zone.
Right.
You know, have you ever played it yourself? Do you know what I'm talking about here?
Yes.
Right. Well, you know, he sort of goes up a corridor, and like the idea is that you have to make it to the top, and there's a whole bunch of traps and enemies coming out and trying to get you. Basically, you just have to make it to the top, and you know that's the end of it. You don't actually have to, you know, kill Robotnik, but you know, with the right timing, you can manage to, you know, all the fights, you know, they all take 8 hits. So, you know, if you can pull off those 8 hits by the time he gets to the top and off screen, you don't really get anything. You know, you don't get anything for it. It's just like a extreme sense of satisfaction.
Well, I mean, it's an amazing feat, sir.
Right. Well, I think Sonic pointed this out in the thread too. You know, that yeah, I was sort of abusing save state feature a little bit.
Oh, See, well,
but you see, I did get him all 8 hits in one run, but we were sort of we had save stated it right before the battle,
right?
And I must have done it 25 times before I finally got it, and it was like, whoa, so exciting.
Yeah, and the thing is, the save state feature of the emulators, it gives you a reason to not throw the controller across the room, because you're like, oh, I can just hit F5 and go again.
Right.
So okay, let's question from the chat room. Sonic versus Mario. Not like in a race, obviously, but
in what, in a duel.
Let's just say you had to choose one. Is Sonic better than Mario, or is Mario better than Sonic?
I think that all in all, Mario's had the better run. I don't think anyone could deny that. I personally, I enjoy the Sonic games on Genesis more so than Super Mario World, Super Mario Brothers 3, and such. I like the gameplay a little better, but I don't think anybody could deny that Mario has had a better run than Sonic, as far as lifelong.
We're getting
games
some.
Right.
Are you reading the chat room right now?
Right. Everybody's. Yeah. They don't like me.
We have lies, Hal. See, lies. But so now they're talking about the merits of what will you do if you're Sonic if you clog the toilet, whereas Mario as a plumber is a respectable trade. So that's what's happening in our chat room right now. But so I have to ask, when is the album going to quote unquote drop?
Well, I would like to say that it's going to come out sometime next month. I can't promise that. There's another album that's very close to coming out that might squeeze in front of me. And no, I'm not talking about the Pokemon album. But yeah, I'd like to say in this next month, if not, I'd say the August or September. September at the latest, I would hope.
So off the record, which album's headed out before you?
I'm not allowed to say that.
Well, it's off the record. You can say, right?
Off the record. How do I know it's off the record?
Oh, we'll just shut the recorder off. That's all. Yeah. No, but that's great though. Coming out this summer, let's say.
Yeah.
This summer.
Totally.
Yeah, okay. Sometime in the summer. So, oh man, this is the Sound of Speed. Play on words there. Very creative title. I love the graphic, by the way.
Oh yeah, that was put together by a couple of the guy on our forums. Put together the picture of Sonic, and one of our there's a remixer named Protodome. He put together the actual art with the graphics and stuff. It looks really great.
It's a badass graphic. It's going to be a badass album. We do have one final question for you. We ask all our guests here. Mega Man 2 versus Contra.
Gosh. Mega Man 2.
Oh. Okay. All right then. Not my choice, of course, but
to be honest, I haven't played a lot of either of them, so.
Yeah, but I think music-wise, if you look at the remixes alone, I think Mega Man 2 is trumped Contra, I think tenfold or whatever it is. So, but well, I gotta say, thanks for joining us here at 8bit Extravaganza. It's been great having you on here, and good luck to you in your album coming up.
Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
So, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna hang up on you now, Hal C.
Yep.
All right, man. That was Hal C from ocremix.org. Oh man, I cannot wait to see this album. But we do have an exclusive track. I will shut the hell up and We'll get back. Gotta get the chat room. The chat room is craziness here. But we'll be back. This is exclusive track here, courtesy of Halc. We'll get into it. 8bitx.com. That's Juby Final Progression, an exclusive track from the The Sound of Speed. I'll get it right, I swear to God. OC Remix upcoming album. Big shout out to Halc from Juby, from Will Rock, everyone in the chat room that came in. Still here, rocking on 8bitx.com.
The Shinra Guard is close behind Cloud and the rest of the gang as they stole vehicles from the Shinra headquarters. They are in close pursuit, and they are where I am in the truck. Cloud is defending the truck by swinging his sword wildly at the villains pursuing us. Cloud is almost at his limit break. It's going to go in less than a couple minutes. I'm lost in the motherfucking desert. The Golden Saucer is a source of economic explosion in a world decimated by greed. There is fire everywhere! Oh my god, there's a man walking through the fire!
Embedded reporters within Final Fantasy VII, only on 8bitx.com.